Hi, Dr. Beyer of Functional Medicine Solutions. Want to give a quick tip out to people who are thinking about having some labs done or maybe have had some labs done, especially to those who may have had labs done, have a lot of symptoms, but have been told by your doctor that everything was normal in the labs. And that's a situation that a lot of people come across. This may be some basic information to those of you who are a little bit more versed in functional medicine and have been kind of studying it out on your own a little bit longer. But some of you don't know this, and so this is a really important beginning point, and that is to understand the difference between the lab ranges, the lab highs and lows, or the ranges that labs establish, and what is actually what we call a functional range, which is an optimal or a healthy range. You see, labs establish their highs and lows from bell curve averages from everybody that they test from year to year. Unfortunately, most people getting tested just aren't optimally healthy. In fact, a lot of people are quite sick. So the ranges or the highs and lows that labs establish don't in any way, shape, or form represent really a healthy or optimal range. So a lot of people can fall within those ranges and still be having some metabolic dysfunction, but they're mistakenly told by their doctor, who's not trained in functional medicine and isn't aware of these functional ranges, that everything is normal. A good example is TSH, or thyroid stimulating hormone. That's a marker that doctors will measure on a blood test to see if thyroid function is abnormal. And usually the range for TSH for a lab tends to be about 0.5 to 5.0. But a lot of people are within that lab range, but outside of the functional range. A healthy range for TSH is 1.8 to 3.0. So a lot of people are in this gray area where they're inside the lab range, but they're outside of the functional range, one way or the other. And so those are the unfortunate people that continue to suffer with symptoms, having been told everything's normal when actually they're having some metabolic dysfunction. So what we're offering to people, because we want to get people to get better and stop suffering, is to email out a copy of what we use in our office, which is a functional laboratory evaluation. So what we do is we get the report back from the lab, and we take those numbers and punch them into this report here, this in-office report, to make sure that everything falls within the functional range. And you can also see that we measure a lot more than what the typical medical doctor, even endocrinologist, is measuring. So we pick up a lot of problems because we understand what the functional ranges are, and we make sure that everything falls within it, but we also measure a lot more markers. So a lot of people are just unnecessarily suffering with thyroid dysfunction or other types of metabolic dysfunction, and they're doing so because they are working with a doctor who's unaware of these things. So if you would like a copy of that functional report emailed out to you, we have no problem doing that. So you could just take a look at or just transcribe the numbers that you have on your lab report into this functional report. You could see possibly some highs and lows. You can also see where a lot of markers that really should get measured more than likely have not been measured. So if you're not looking at this video on my website, just go to functionalmedicinesolutions.net, and you can just shoot us off an email saying, hey doc, send me that functional laboratory evaluation, and we'd be happy to do that for you.